Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are covering Sundial. Sundial has seen a massive run up to the $1.70 range and looks like it's going to continue trending. But is this a Reddit meme stock? Is this going to come crashing back down? What's holding this stock up? Is it a short squeeze? I'm going to cover all this in this video. I've been covering this for the past week and a half, and I've kind of been stating there's some major upside potential if it can hold above a key range. We're going to break all this down here in this video, going over the specific targets that I see coming in the coming weeks. But before we get to that content, I need you to do one thing and one thing only. Hit that sub button down below, leave a thumbs up, and have the notifications turned on, because I'm posting videos every single day regarding the stocks that I am trading and the stocks coming up that I think have a lot of potential. Sundial was definitely one of those stocks. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. The first question going into this, is Sundial a meme stock? Is this just a Reddit hype stock? Is Reddit pushing this stock up? I would actually have to say no. So if you watched my previous video, I didn't see Sundial getting this immediate push up yet, but I saw the volume kicking in. And another thing I did notice was that this stock was actually holding the levels that it hit prior to the last short squeeze. So when we had the initial short squeeze from all the Reddit hype to that, $1.80 range, this stock actually held it overall, and now we're pushing to higher highs. That is worth noting as well. And I mentioned in the last video, my short-term targets over the next week and a half were actually 170 to 180, which we're hitting right now. So it's worth mentioning. But now I do have reason to believe there is a lot more room to go in this stock, but we're seeing this whole sector really blow up before our eyes. So that is worth noting. So I'm going to get exactly into where I'd be looking to buy this stock and where I see it going maybe in the next 1 to 2 months, because overall Sundial is looking extremely bullish. But why is it going up, and why is there so much hype behind this stock? So if you don't know, Sundial is listed on the Nasdaq, but it has a catch going with it. Over this next year, going into June 1st, that's the last day that this deal kind of goes on, it has to hold above a price of $1 for 10 consecutive days. So far, it's going on the 7th consecutive day, holding above $1. And there's a lot of shorts betting that this stock will not hold above $1, because it previously has been rejected countless times at this range. But now it's seeing steady and slow growth up until today, staying above that dollar price target, which looks very bullish. It was slowly consolidating, showing for some pure upside. That's why I thought this stock was so bullish coming in the next week or so, but we're getting the movement prior to those 10 days. That is worth noting. The OBV and everything else on the stock look extremely bullish, so we're going to get into that content here in a second, so bear with me. The charts are incoming. Another thing worth mentioning, I've mentioned this in my previous videos, but Sundial has zero debt. We're not going to cover any articles in this video because there's not really any new news. Actually, most of the news is saying Sundial is going to come down crashing and burning, but I'm here to tell you I think Sundial still has a lot of room to go up. Holding above $1 was the tip of the iceberg. I think after this 10 days is up, there's real potential to start pushing towards $3 overall. And no, I'm not just hyping Sundial up. I think $3 is a very reasonable target in the coming weeks to next 2 months. As you know, this sector is absolutely blowing up, and I think Sundial is a really hot play in this specific field. So that's my thesis and my overall viewpoint on Sundial, but let's get into the charts. Okay, so what is going on with the chart? So this is the last previous high, which we saw from that Wall Street Bets pump. As you see, we took a massive retracement and then overall went straight back to that level very quickly over the next 4 to 5 days. And then from that level, we just trended sideways, consolidating, looking extremely bullish. I've been saying in my previous videos, this is not just hype. This is not a short squeeze. This is looking very beautiful. And overall, I think now we're getting to that short squeeze phase. We're seeing a lot of the shorts and people that have this stock staying under $1 trying to cover their positions. In my opinion, we're getting a nice push up. This $1.70 to $1.80 range was ultimately where I was looking to take profits if I got into some positions here. I ended up not getting in positions. I put pretty heavy into Nokia because I thought Nokia on the long term was a bit safer.
What an idiot!
So that was kind of dumb on my end. I was consecutively making pushes on this stock, letting everyone know, because I was trying to get into towards the end of this week, waiting as long as possible before opening those options. Looking at the OBV, you can see we broke this clear support and resistance right there, flipping it, looking very strong as well. Going into tomorrow, it looks like we're going to get more push towards that 6.2 range. The OBV basically shows how much volume is being put into the stock, how much bullish momentum is typically going into the stock. So when you see really big dips like this, that's pretty bearish. But after all that bearishness that we saw in the stock right here, you see we actually trended down and then kind of started trending back up. And you hear me say this all the time. When you see slow consecutive growth on these stocks, it's very very bullish. So we saw slow, gradual growth in the stock over the next few days, reclaiming those local highs and then consolidating right beneath them above $1. This was just stacking up long calls, and the shorts were really being squeezed. You can say this isn't a short squeeze, but you can look at the chart, you can look at the fundamentals. There was tons of institutions and investors betting this stock would not hold above $1, and I think now they're coming to the realization this stock will in fact hold above $1. So I do think there will be a retracement coming in pretty soon, but I definitely think there's a possibility we test that $2 range here in the next few days before the week's end. So that's a 100% worth noting. But there's a few things that we need to take into account. The market doesn't look all that great right now. I think the indexes are pushing very, very high, but there's a higher probability we do see a massive retracement with the Nasdaq, the SPX, and stuff like that. If the Nasdaq starts retracing, Sundial should follow. Sundial, however, is in the Nasdaq. So it's worth mentioning. I think there is some potential downside, but where am I looking to be buying positions? I do believe we're going to see a test of this level here, but there's also a high possibility we see another retest of the $1.20 range. We held that very, very strong, and if we get a drop down to $1.20, I think that's going to be a buy. There's also a possibility we do come down to the $1 range. However, I don't see that happening. The bulls are definitely going to want to hold this stock much higher than $1, so there's not even a possibility that we close above $1 before next Monday. That's going to be very crucial for this stock. Holding and closing above $1 is major key on this stock. So it's worth mentioning, looking at the OBV, I did say this earlier, but we want to see a push to this local high right here. This is going to be a pretty big resistance, as you can see right there. I think there is tons of momentum to be pushing to that level, and that's going to really tell us how much bullish momentum and volume is kicking into the stock. I think we're looking very, very strong at the moment, and there's no reason to believe that we stop at this 1.6 range. $2 is definitely in the cards going into next week, and then after Monday, things could get very parabolic pretty quick, so be careful, and I would not be greedy taking profits, because if we start pushing towards $3, there's a high possibility we do see a decline and a big retracement from that level. So don't be too greedy with any of your options, especially long term. Do what you want, do your own due diligence, most importantly, because this is not financial advice. I'm just giving you my opinion and what I would do if I was in the stock. But I do think there's a lot of momentum. It's looking very strong. We're holding that VWAP, so the momentum is still bullish. That is worth noting. We have not got to push below that VWAP. So overall, this session still looks very, very bullish. The Nasdaq is still primed, looks to have more upside in it. But it's worth noting too that these indexes look a little bit bearish, and I'm actually bearish on the market as a whole. So that's worth noting. Keep that in mind. So the overall targets for the coming days, I want to see $2 by the end of the week. That would be very, very nice range to take some profits. And then from Monday, you could see some really parabolic activity because it would held the $1 range for 10 consecutive days, making this stock very, very, very bullish. And any shorts below this $1 range right here would ultimately be slaughtered. That is worth noting. Any funds with shorts below $1 would probably end up losing all or most of their money. That is a very important factor to take into account here. So in consensus, I'm looking very, very bullishly at Sundial. The market right now, we can move either way going to the end of the week, but come Monday morning, holding above $1 for the remainder of that week, and then coming on Monday morning, sitting above that dollar range, I'm looking very, very bullish and parabolic activity coming in on Sundial. I think shorts are going to be trying to cover their positions if they aren't already doing it now. That is worth mentioning. Monday will be the day of reckoning, as I keep saying, for this stock, if it can hold above $1. And I think it will. We're seeing a 70% move above that dollar range. So that's very, very bullish. I've been mentioning this stock all the way since $1.10, $1.05 range, give or take. And it's looking very, very promising. The volume is not allowing it to drop below there. Buyers are saying this is a bullish stock. I think Sundial has lots of room to continue running. The sector is on fire as well. The Biden administration keeps mentioning this sector overall, so it's looking very, very strong. If your money's in it long term, I think there's massive growth potential, potentially $4 to $5 by the end of the year, and I'm not just hyping it up, especially if it holds above $1. I cannot emphasize that enough. Holding above $1 is major for this stock. If you got something out of this, make sure you hit that sub button down below, leave a thumbs up, and have those notifications turning on, because we're going to find the next stock just like this if you missed out on this. I'm posting stocks every single day, as well as the hype stocks as well, giving you guys the updates that you are requesting every single day, and also doing live streams. You can catch my live stream at 9 p.m. Central. I'll be live here on YouTube every single day. Have a good one. Namaste.